You played in a bluegrass band for a while as a fiddle player, is that right?
Yeah, I did.
What did you learn about, talking about like kind of learning a new language? You come from the funk world, you're entering into the same thing, it's music, but it's a different accent.
Totally.
How do you recommend people get into a new accent, like learning bluegrass or some other style?
The best way is to immerse yourself in it, is to go to where the people who are fluent in it are.
Yep.
You know, you could do it by listening to records is good, but if you can get into an atmosphere, surround yourself with these people. And if you can find kind enough people who will allow you to play with them, that's the best. Who will gently, or sometimes not so gently, tell you what you're doing right or wrong. So if in me, it was at an amusement park, Busch Gardens. Because of a bad record deal with us 5 brothers, we found ourselves not playing as a 5-piece unit for the first time in my life. All I knew was music. I needed a job. I found out this amusement park, Busch Gardens, the old country, had a bluegrass band. They were looking for a fiddle player. I'm like, it's strings. You know, all strings work the same way. So I went to my high school, borrowed a violin, some kind of way, researched the top 3 fiddle tunes. I remember 2 of them, Orange Blossom Special, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and I don't remember the third one. But I learned them enough to win the audition. And it was literally maybe 2 weeks of playing that fiddle where I had to go audition. Maybe 3, I don't quite remember, but it was short. And I won it. And I eventually played fiddle. Eventually, they needed a bass player, so I got to play fiddle and bass. I realized that bluegrass and country was more than I thought. A whole lot more than thought. The notes are easy. The feel or the accent is not, unless you are immersed and grow up in that genre of music.
What makes it distinct?
It's simplicity, note-wise. But they make it complex, not by adding more notes. Same notes as any other style. But there's something. It's the same way you can go to Australia or London and they're speaking English. But that accent is different. And it would take some practice for you to sound native. So I realized I was sounding like a funky bass player in this bluegrass band. And in the beginning, I didn't know it. I didn't know it. But years later, I was able to hear some early recordings, and I was like, wow, I just sound like a funk fusion guy trying to play bluegrass. But everything, you know, in my book, The Music Lesson, I speak about tone, articulation, phrasing. I break it up into 10 parts. Of course, there's more than 10, but all of those parts are different. The only thing that's the same are the notes. Right? Bluegrass didn't invent any more notes, but the tone, the rhythm, the phrasing, everything else is slightly different, and that's the same with all styles of music. There's no new notes. You know, jazz isn't so cool that they get, as my friend Anthony says, they get a 13th note. No, same notes, but everyone sounds different. Moving to Nashville now, I'm hanging out with Bela Fleck and all his incredible friends. So now I'm playing with the best of the best in bluegrass and country.
What was that like?
I learned a lot. Fortunately, maybe because I was a friend of Bela's, everyone was so kind to me. You know, because I'm a rhythmic player, you know, so I'm playing bluegrass, oonch, 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 oonch. I'm putting all that in between stuff, and Sam Bush, greatest mandolin player, one of the greatest ever,
He really is.
gently comes over to me and says, "Hey, wait, you know, will you not? Don't put that beat in there." He said, "That's my job."
The backbeat.
And then it hit me. The bluegrass.
That is
the mandolin player's the drummer, not me. I'm adding drums because there's no drum set, you know. And I'm like, simple. And then where you play, do I play back near the tailpiece or up near the fingerboard? Every different place is a different feel. I learned through bluegrass and through the Michael Rhodes and the great bass players that were here at that time. Right, I met the best of the best. Where in my earlier days, I would have think they're just playing simple. They're masterpieces. They're master musicians. Where I learned how where I lift my finger off the note makes a difference. We're always taught to play on beat. No one teaches us when to lift the finger.
That's true.
On beat. What part of the beat do you lift? Man, tone.
Subtlety.
Oh, man. For me, my tone was bright, harsh, hit it hard.
Cutting.
But not here. Everything was perfect. So I learned that moving to Nashville. I became a much better musician, playing bluegrass and country, and then learning it authentically by coming to Nashville.
Yeah. Some of the music that you've played throughout your career is complex. You know, it's not diatonic, it's jumping through keys, jazz stuff. I think it's similar to saying, like, if you speak English, you should just be able to speak about anything. But most people can't stand up and give a lecture on geology because we just don't have the vocabulary for it. We don't know what the rocks are called.
Sure.
What was your approach to learning the vocabulary of some of these more sophisticated styles?
The main part of learning the vocabulary is that if I'm talking about geology, I need to make you understand it if you know nothing about geology.
Yeah.
See, and a lot of jazz people are playing as if they're playing to other jazz players.
Yeah.
So that only, like, they're leaving the audience behind in many cases, not all cases.
Yeah.
So because I played dances as kids, and I mean 5 years old, 6 years old, I'm playing nightclubs, making people dance. I knew that what I'm doing is for them, not to show who I am, to show who they are. They're there to have a good time. So even if us brothers are playing jazz, fusion, a lot of notes, we need to make sure that the audience can connect to it, right? And we were just talking about bluegrass. Bluegrass musicians are incredible at that. In my opinion, my humble opinion, jazz musicians have lost that ability
to connect.
No,
with the
I
audience.
shouldn't say they've disconnected with the band. They can do it. They can play in a way that connects.
Yeah.
But it seems like our job as jazz musicians now is to play as if the audience isn't there. Let's just play above their heads, and which is why
crazy you can play, the more hip you are, and
the more hip you are. If I can solo through giant steps in a way that nobody understands, I'm that good. But that's why our audiences are small.
You
know.
Yeah.
The more people can feel it inside, outside, and not have to listen.
Yeah.
The bigger your audience, the more records will sell, and the happier the people will be.
Who are the artists that exemplify that for you in the jazz genre that you think that, you know, that still resonate with audiences and still make stuff that's very listenable?
Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, they got there.
Wayne Shorter, you would count in that camp.
Oh, absolutely, because he plays melodies. You hear him with Joni Mitchell?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But his compositions are pretty.
No, he can go there.
Yeah.
But not 100% of the time. That's why he can play with pop people.
Right.
They had Miles Davis on some cameo records.
Yeah.
Because Miles figured it out. Miles eventually said something to the favor. You want to hear me play like that? Go buy them old records.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing that. He was playing Cyndi Lauper melodies, Michael Jackson melodies and stuff. He understood that the melody is more important than how well I can solo. You know, I'm not trying to speak for Miles, but I see where those people went. Herbie getting into, like back in the 80s, getting into hip hop and all the stuff that people could feel.
Yeah.
You know, so when you have all of this ability, but you can put it in a way that people understand, there's more energy into that than, I don't want to offend anyone, that people who can only play those 4 chords and play that.
Yeah.
Herbie and those people, Stevie Wonder, perfect example.
100%.
He can play giant steps and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he takes that ability and puts it here, B.B. King style, Willie Nelson style. So the more you have, but put it here, the more fuel, the more potent this is. It's like concentrate. You only need this much to get the whole picture. Where a lot of people who can only play that crazy stuff, it's not as potent as a Herbie or a Miles or a Wayne Shorter. But I would definitely put Wayne Shorter in that category for me.